Hello, and for an essay project, I'll be discussing the emotional hardships of the short story "I'd Love You to Want Me." And with the meaning of the story's title, it originally comes from an actual song that goes all the way back to 1972, which is from Logo. And it actually comes up in the beginning of the story at a wedding where the song is being played. And so that brings us to the main focus or the plot of the story. And to start off, it's mainly told from the wife's point of view. And I stated before, it begins at a wedding, and that's where we are introduced to the two main characters of the story, which is the professor and his wife, Sa. And his real name is never really mentioned in the story, so he only gets called the professor. But this is also where the main conflict begins, where the professor ends up calling his wife by another woman's name instead of her own. And so that confuses Sa, and it'll continue to confuse and irritate her throughout the story. It is told in the story that the reason for that is the professor has Alzheimer's. And Alzheimer's is a disease that destroys memories and mental functions. And the disease drastically becomes worse and worse as the story goes on. So Sa has to struggle to deal with all the fake scenarios and memories that the professor has made up, which in reality is all false. And with all that, like the fake memories and even him making up brand new personalities for her, it begins to make Saul question whether he truly loves her or not. And he continued to call her the wrong name, which eventually led her to snap on him and write down her correct name. But even after all of that, he still called her the wrong name throughout the story. And he never showed or expressed any grand love for her. And to be in her position would be very frustrating and difficult, to be dealing with your loved one that turns you into someone completely new. But even after all of that, Saul continues to care for him, and at the end, it's not really the professor's fault because of the disease, of course. And the story is told through flashbacks, which can help show how long the couple have been together and all of their history that they've done. But with all that, it's all altered by the professor and changed. And that helps make the readers understand the struggle some couples may deal with their significant others having Alzheimer's. And that leads us to the message of the story. In the beginning, it starts off at a wedding. And one can state that weddings are a symbol for love and commitment to someone, which that can be applied to Sa and her relationship with her husband. Because while the professor had completely changed her own personality for him and their memories together, at the end of the story, she eventually accepted it all, even being called the wrong name. She accepted it, and she continued to care for the professor and continued to love him and always will. And I believe the author's story does a great job at showing what love and commitment to someone is about. Thank you.